Sorry. What's up? It is Wednesday, August 28th, and this is episode 21. Sorry, I just bumped that microphone there. Let's get into it. What is up? We are back. Just found out I'm going to be a uncle again to a fur baby. So, breaking news, if you're listening. Just now on the telephone now. Found out. Going to be an uncle to, what kind of dog is this? A lab golden mix. So, as American as you can get, can't get any more American than a lab golden mix. So shout out to my brother and his wife on the baby, so to say. I'm excited to meet the little shithead, and yeah, I'm a new uncle all of a sudden. So that's kind of the breaking news of the day. Way to start off episode 21 here. We're back. I've been trying to get to this for a minute. I've been excited to do this episode. I've got a lot to talk about here. Lots been going on, man. I talked to you guys last time before. Hold on, let me get this mic. Try to get it out of my mouth. Talked to you guys right before I switched jobs last time. So, so I switched jobs finally, and asked me how my first week, and I guess it's a week and a half went. Just asked me, how'd your first week? That's the face I go. I do one of these too. Like with these come out, I go. Yeah. That's about how my first week went. So definitely tough first week. I don't know why I keep messing with this microphone, but I do. First week and 2 days have been tough. If you've ever switched a job before, chances are you have. You know how stressful and difficult it can be to switch a job. I was not anticipating this amount of stress and this amount of difficulty. I'd say more emotionally and not as much physically. I guess it was a little physical, but it's been tough, man. It's been tough to get acclimated at the new job, and I had a nice conversation with a buddy of mine, and we were talking, and you get comfortable in places, and you get comfortable, and you enjoy the people you work with, and when you leave those people, like the saying goes, you never know what you had until it was gone. And I think that was the case for me this first week and a half, and still is to some extent. You don't know what you have until it's gone, and it's, damn, you never realize and you never learn from your mistake. I mean, I don't even know if you can learn unless you go through it. You don't know what you had until it's gone. But yeah, man, I miss my people at my old job. I think it's been a week of stress and not regret, but uncertainty and uncomfortableness, and it's been a challenge, man. The population, we knew this going in. It was going to be tough. And, there is a lot of mental health, some homeless sprinkled in there, a lot of long-term patients. It's kind of crazy. It feels like for lack of the better terms, the prisoners are running the prisons a little bit. There's people coming and going. I'm not used to that. Patients are, by God, we had one patient just today, wheel himself out of the facility, throw the wheelchair in the back of a van and drive off. But he'll be back, he'll be back. I just don't get how it's ran, and scares me a little bit. But it's getting easier. Definitely is a little bit of a shock still, but it's getting a little bit better. We knew it was going to be tough. We knew the population may be tough at times, and that seems to be the case. But trying to stay positive, take it one day at a time. But man, and I hope you can relate, or if you haven't, then maybe just listen. But when you switch jobs after, I was only there for 8 months, but man, I felt comfortable that I just like, okay, now I know where this is, who that is, what this is, where I'm going. I was on a mission, rocking and rolling, productivity was great. And then, you get dropped in to ground zero, and there's a lot of emotion, if I made the right choice and if I made a bad choice and this and that. And I'm not here to talk bad about my decision or talk bad about the place I'm in, because I definitely think something's good is going to come out of it. And I'm still hopeful that it is getting better by the day. It's hard to tell exactly some days, but I do feel a little bit more comfortable today than I did my first day there. So my coworkers, the other therapists are great and helpful, but it just takes a while to get used to it. So that's been something that's been stressful the past week and a half. Hopefully you can relate on some level, and I'm just going to take it one day at a time and try and get through it. And definitely kind of the theme of the last 8-9 months being here in Portland, me and Christy, it's just been a lot of challenging times, whether it be financially or just socially, or I don't know, just missing home too, and then missing the family, and then but there's also been a lot of rewarding times too, and there's a lot of great memories that we've made here, and definitely feel like we've gotten closer together, and we would just rely on each other more, because my brother, my sister-in-law, and we've got a little bit of family here who we can rely on, but really it's just me and her and Walter, and sometimes that's all we got. So definitely we'll take the good with the bad and the bad with the good, because staying positive and trying to get through it one day at a time. But no matter how many pictures we post of all the fun shit we do on the weekends, whether it be hiking or backpacking or swimming in this cool crystal little creek, or getting donuts every weekend or doing that shit, there's tough times. And we knew that coming in. We knew that. But there's going to be tough times anywhere. It just makes it a little tougher when you just got each other to rely on. But it also makes it that much better, Like I said, we're growing and we're figuring it out. We're making it. So, the first week was tough at work. So shout out to me for putting up with it. So, we're making it. We're going to get better at it. And I'm excited for what's coming up in the future and that kind of stuff. And like I said, something good will come out of this. It'll make me better in ways I can't even imagine right now. You don't see it because you got your blinders on and it's too sunny out. But something good will come out of it. So that was my past week. It's just been a crazy week. I actually did end up working Tuesday through Saturday, my first week there. So Saturday I was all by myself there. It was a ghost town, which was okay. And then, so we had Sunday, Monday off. So this past weekend, Sunday, Monday, we got a couple days off, got to unwind a little bit, It's been a stressful first week, Both got our stresses, got to unwind a little bit. So why not drive to Crater Lake? It's only 4-ish hours away, down south. So we get in the car and we drive down to Crater Lake. We take Walt with us, aka Pug, and Gonna do a little camping just a little north of Crater Lake at Diamond Lake. Um, got a nice little campground there. Put up the tent. Had a fire. There's a little lake to eat dinner at. A little pizza shop with like all the like cool like overpriced camping food items, like a little general store / pizza parlor right on the lake, and that was about it. So what we do? Oh, Sunday, we woke up fairly early and drove down to Crater Lake. So we get to Crater Lake. We've been in the car 4 hours. It's out in the middle of nowhere in the mountains. We get to Crater Lake, see Crater Lake. It's beautiful. It's giant. The water's as blue as a blue whale. And it's just a sight for sore eyes, but not the opposite of that, whatever that is. It's the opposite of a sight for sore eyes, unless it might be a sight. I'm not sure. You're a sight for sore eyes. I think that's a good thing. So either, whether it's good or it's bad, the opposite, whatever applies to it, it was a good. So, we get there, we see Crater Lake. It's pretty cool. I was definitely thinking like we would drive up like you drive up to a regular lake. And like you could like touch the water maybe and like stuff like that, but you're literally up on like a rim, like it's like a cup, and you're just at the top of the rim looking down at the lake, which is still cool. You could see really far, and you got to see the island and the blue water and stuff, and it was crystal clear day, beautiful day. But then we had Walter with us, and it was like 90 degrees out, sunny AF. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, we're gonna go on a hike, but then none of the hikes around Crater Lake you could take your pets on. So of course, we didn't go on any hikes. We just ended up driving around the rim, and around the rim of Crater Lake, it's got all these little viewpoints, and like, oh, to go to this viewpoint if you want to see this angle of this thing. And so we did that, stopped off bunch of viewpoints and did all that cool stuff. I mean, it was a cool place. It's definitely a crater lake, and it's definitely worth seeing at least once in your life in person, live. Pretty unique place. But yeah, if you're not going to go hiking or anything like that, you can do it all in one day. So that's what we did. It's actually the day we went was like the birthday of the National Parks Service or something. So it was free to get in, which was great. So we got in that first day, kind of hung out around the lodgy area, like the gift shop area, and like did all the views and like drove around the whole lake, which took like an hour. And definitely cool. Definitely out in the middle of nowhere. There's not much around it except for this Diamond Lake that's close by. So then we hang out there all day at Crater Lake, driving around. I got to get back because it's my fantasy football draft. Okay. So I was like sweating bullets all day because Crater Lake out in the middle of nowhere, you don't get service. I need service for my fantasy football draft. So I get my fantasy football draft going, and we get back to Diamond Lake where they got the pizza place, and let me see that. We get back to Diamond Lake after Crater Lake. If you like stand on the very edge of the lake, you can get cell service. So like we were posted up at the edge of the lake, got some pizza. What else we get? Yeah, pizza, salad, and stuff like that. This is like the only store within like 40 miles, which had really good pizza. So we got that. We sat by the lake. Christy sat in the hammock with Walt, and I did my fantasy football draft from a lake view with the mountains in the background. So that was pretty cool. I was able to get service to do my fantasy football draft, and shout out to my team. Hopefully y'all do good. I did get Aaron Rodgers as my quarterback, so that's my quarterback right there. And it all turned out pretty good. After the draft ended, we got some ice cream, went back to the tent site, had a little campfire, hung out, chilled out, Campsite was empty, so had pretty much the whole place to ourselves. Just hung out, had a campfire. It's a nice little night. So yeah, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful day. Did a lot of fun stuff, and that was Sunday. Now Monday, okay. So Monday we were gonna go. Everyone's got the Mondays on Monday, and so Monday we decided, let's blow this popsicle stand, and let's head home a little early. On the way home, you got to go through Eugene, Oregon, which is home to the University of Oregon, and very pretty out there over in that area. Very it's mountains, but it looks like little hills, but they're mountains everywhere. We're like, let's go find a hike, maybe closer to Eugene, maybe get something to eat in Eugene, because we haven't really explored Eugene yet. And so get everything packed in the car, got Walter with us, got in the car. Christy's driving the first 2 hours. I'm driving the second 2 hours. So Christy's driving. We're just driving along. Okay, nothing's new. And then, we go through the mountains, kind of from Crater Lake to this town called Oak Ridge, which is about 45 miles from Eugene. There's not really much cell service. It's like spotty, come and go on the cell service. So we're driving along. Christy's driving along. We're kind of going up and down the mountains. And they're getting kind of steep, like 6% grades, which I don't know if that's steep or not. Some guy told me today at 15% grades in Arizona, which that'd be cool if there was that. That'd be pretty steep. Steep grades. So we're all just kind of chilling, like hitting the brakes on the way down. Christy was kind of just riding the brakes a little bit on the way down this nice 6.0% grade. And next thing you know, she pulls the old, the brake's not working. And that's a classic line from a movie, but I don't remember which movie that is. Where you trying to scare the family and stuff. Oh, the brake's not working. So my first reaction was, I don't even remember. I was just like, like that. And then she starts like freaking out, like the brakes aren't working. Like I'm pushing the brakes down. There's nothing going on. And then like I look over at the dashboard, and like in Star Trek and Star Wars, when they're like flying the jet and it like they shoot one of the wings and it's like beep, 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 beep. And it's like shows like the wing like lighting up, like there's like a picture of the airplane and it's like a drawing of it and like the wings like blinking and it's like red, like beep, beep, beep. Like, oh shit, we've been hit on the left flank. And like so I looked over and the dashboard's like blinking with all these like lights and stuff like that. I was like, oh shit. And then so the brakes are going out. Power steering's going out. The power braking with the power steering. The engine's like getting ready to die. Okay, going up and down, getting ready to die. We're going down the 6% grade. Christy's driving, freaking out. I'm in the passenger seat trying to freak out. And Walt's in the back seat. I don't even know what he's doing. So we hit the emergency brake. And that slows us down barely enough. Like, she's holding on to the regular brake, whatever is left on that. I don't know. I didn't touch it. You have to ask her. But she's holding down the regular brake with the one foot. She's flipping the e-brake with the other foot. The power steering's gone, and we're just trying to steer off and get to the side. And all the while, there's these people behind us, like, what's going on? So we're freaking out for a good 10-15 seconds as we're going down this 6% grade mountain with brakes and power steering not working. And it's like 2-lane, one lane, like 2-lane. And luckily, Christy kept her cool with me helping her keep her cool a little bit. And we were able to safely navigate off the road to the side where we were like 10, 15 feet from like a guardrail which I was planning on running into or telling her to run into to stop. But luckily, we stopped before we got to the guardrail. So, freak out. Like, once we come to a stop, I'm like, okay, hit the emergency brake. Like, holy shit, what's going on? Like, the car is, like, dead now. And shout out to Hyundai Sonatas for almost killing us, by the way. Hyundai Sonata, get your local Hyundai Sonata and get killed. So the car is stopped, okay, at the side of the road. And hold on, make sure this is going right. So the car is stopped on the side of the road. Christy's like freaking out, like we're kind of in like shock, like oh my god, we almost just died. Shout out to Hyundai Sonata, almost just died. And so I was like, all right, let's just. All these people are like zooming by us, like we're just nothing, okay? So we're like, all right, like okay, shit, like you just jump over in my seat, I'm gonna get around, come and sit in the front seat, like see what's going on, like I can fix anything. And then the car won't turn over or anything like that. The e-brake's on. I like pop the hood, like I know what I'm looking at or anything like that. Mostly just because I think that's a sign of like distress in a car situation. If you just pop the hood, like hopefully someone will stop for you. Hopefully. Because they're like, oh, their hood's up. They must like be experiencing something like weird. Why would they have their hood up on this 2-lane highway that's at a 6% grade? So I don't know. So I popped the hood and was like just looking at it like a dummy. I'm like, okay, it looks about what it normally looks like, a car. And then I was like, all right, well, let me go start it one more time. And it didn't start. It didn't even turn over or anything like that. So we sat there for a minute, started freaking out a little bit. Like, we're like, well, we don't have service here. We're on this 6% grade, 2-lane highway. The next town is about 25 miles away. And I think they have service there where there's this town at. It's called Oak Ridge on Highway 58. And so we're like, okay, well, this sucks, obviously. Let's put everything, I mean, on top of this, we have Walter with us, and he doesn't do well with stress. And we had our car pretty much packed full of stuff from our camping trip, like because we take everything, all of our camping stuff, all of our like stuff that we don't even need to bring, we bring it with us because we go camping for the night or the weekend. So we overpack everything, so the car's just like full of shit. And like Walter's like whining and like he doesn't know what's going on because he's a dog. And so we're like, okay, let's just first, this sucks. Second of all, we're probably gonna have to walk to this town like 25 miles away on this 2-lane highway on a mountain. And then third, let's put all the stuff in the trunk so it doesn't get broken into and everyone steals our shit. So is that too high? Can't tell. So we're getting all of this. I still have the hood up at this time because that's the international symbol for distress. Okay, the hood's still up. And getting everything out of the back seat, out of the car, putting it in the trunk, just throwing stuff in. Luckily, we had a pack with us, like a small day pack. So we're filling up our water bottles with what water we have left. We're getting the last of the Cliff Bars. I was throwing in some like butt wipes in case I needed to poop on the way to town, walking into town. And like I threw in some water purification tablets just in case like, it was hot that day. So if we're walking 25 miles to the next town, I might, Papa might get thirsty. So I need to purify some water if I have to. And then, so we got our little day pack all like huddled up and got the car cleaned out. Everything's in the trunk. We're like, okay, well, this is it. Let's freaking, all the while, this is like 10, 15 minutes. Although people are just driving by us, not a care in the world. Like, we're just packing up to go freaking hike across the country after our car broke down. And so everything's getting packed up into the trunk. And then about ready to close the trunk. and we see this car coming in the opposite direction, coming up the hill, and she like gets off at the turn up up ahead, and we're like, oh, thank God. I think she might be coming to like say hey or something like that, like, you guys need help. Luckily she did pull over. I think her name was Jan or something like that. She was real nice. She's like, hey, are you guys in a pickle or something like that? I don't remember what she said. And we're like, and Christy started crying, and like, we're like, yes, we're kind of screwed right now. There's no service. Like, we don't know what our car's doing. We're kind of freaked out a little bit. We have to walk all this way to get to this town. It's like 25 miles with our dog on a 2-lane highway. I am a little stressed right now. So, yeah, her name was Jan. She had a dog with her too, and she drove an SUV. But she was very nice. She's like, I'll give you a ride down to the next town, Oak Ridge. I'm actually heading to Eugene. If you guys want to go there, I can drop you off there. You can come to my house. It's a mess, blah, blah, blah. When people say that all the time, like, oh, you can come to my house. Or like if you go to your friend's house when you're a kid, they'll be like, oh, you can come over. My house is a mess. Or like, if you had a girl over, you'd be like, oh, man, my house is a mess. I feel like everyone says that. I don't know why, but most of the time, like, I feel like people are like, yeah, no shit, your house is a mess. My house is a mess too. So no matter how clean your house is, you always tell people that have never been there that it's a mess, which is kind of funny. So I might write that down as a joke. Yeah, so no matter how clean it is, you tell someone that it's a mess before they come in for the first time. And if they've already been there, sometimes you tell them as well it's a mess as well. So she says, well, you can come to my house because it's a mess. Or you can come to my house, it's just a mess. I got the dog. And she had her dog too. And I can't remember the dog's name. It was some like inspirational name that was like a phrase but a name. But she was really nice. I think her name was Jan. So she drove us, and we had a nice conversation with her, like, about how we almost died. And like how we have no service out here. And she was like, yeah, I just got back from camping and blah, blah, blah. So we get to this town like 25 miles away, which is like half an hour away. And able to call a tow truck company in Eugene, which is another 45 miles away. And then we're like, all right, Jan, like, we did that thing to her. We didn't really do that, but we're like, all right, I think we like are gonna be all right. Like, the tow truck driver said that he's gonna be here and pick us up at this little grocery store in this small ass town. Like, we're homeless people looking for a ride. So shout out to, I think her name is Jan. I don't know, but she was really nice, and she was our angel for that day. And without her, would have been a long day. That's a long walk. So she said that we were her first too. So first people that she's picked up with car trouble. And she proceeded to tell us that she has had car trouble in the past too. So just very lucky to be alive. Very lucky to have her. And I'm going to call her Jan. And Christy will probably tell me her name something different. But if you're watching this, thank you, and you're a very nice person. So without her, we wouldn't have made it to this town. So we get to this town, we do the handshake. She takes off back to Eugene, the same way we were planning on going. And we're sitting at this little grocery store in this small town. And we have service there now. So we're calling, furiously calling people, and like, the only people we have here is my brother and my sister-in-law, and they're like, just chill out. The insurance will pay for it all. So we're hanging out there like some homeless people just looking for a ride in the grocery store parking lot. And then the tow truck guy comes, and I don't even remember his name, but he was really nice. He was this young dude. And so we hopped in the tow truck, me, Christy, and Walter, like, just in that front right of that tow truck, and Walt was like freaking out the whole time. So we drive to the car, get there, stressful situation for the tow truck driver because it's on a mountain. There's traffic both ways. It's 2-lane. But luckily, as soon as we showed up to the car, a state trooper kind of showed up too. So he was able to not be as stressed out getting our car. But within like 5 minutes, he was able to grab our car, throw it on his trailer, and we were off heading to Eugene, which was about an hour and a half away. So had a long conversation with this guy. He's a very nice guy. Wish him the best. Maybe we can leave a Google review on that page and tell them that he needs a raise, because he is very nice and he made the trip definitely not weird but fun. And he was very nice. So he took us all the way to Eugene. We get to Eugene, drop the car off at the dealership. There's all these guys in these suits. You know, we're like, yo, our car almost killed us driving down this mountain. What the fuck? And yeah, so we're at the dealership and Walt's hot. It's hot. The car's dropped off. By then, we're just looking like straight travelers because we're just stressed out. We got a backpack on us full of water and Cliff Bars and butt wipes. And Walter's freaking out. So we get to this Hyundai dealership, drop the car off, and we're talking to them. And they're like, yeah, we think it's the engine. We're 99% sure it's the engine. There was a recall on this engine. And we're 99% sure it's the engine. You know, we've had many people come in here with this problem on these particular models and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. We could have died. And he's like, no. I was like, well, we almost did die. So thank you for your consideration that we almost didn't die. I'm glad you were there to witness it. And yeah, but then they hooked us up with this sweet new car because we were originally going to have to rent a car, or what's it called? Is it rental? Yeah, rental car. I don't know why. Like a Hertz or Enterprise rental car. Yeah, rent a car. We're going to have to rent a car from one of those stupid rental car places. And he was on the phone. He's like, oh, all they have is like this 16-passenger van right now. Like, that's all they have. And I was like, we'll take it, I guess. And like, then like his boss was like, yo, just give them the... We got one rent. We have like one left. Like, just give them the car. So they give us a newer Hyundai Elantra 2019. And they're like, yeah, just take it. Like, if it's the engine, we'll replace the engine free of charge or give you incentives to buy a new car, blah, 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 blah. If it's not and we'll pay for your rental, the car that you're driving right now, we'll pay for that. If it's the engine, blah, blah, blah. If it's not the engine, you have to pay for the rental, but the insurance will pay for that. So long story short, about 9:40 is when we almost died. We got home around 4-ish p.m. So not bad timing coming back from the dead. And everything turned out okay. There's a silver lining in all of this. One, we get to drive a new car for at least probably 3 to 8 weeks sometimes, I said. It could take up to 2 months to get a new engine. If that is the case, it is the recalled engine. So we get to drive a new car, and I get to treat it like it's our own car. So I don't care. They're going to detail it when we get it back. Thirdly, if it is the engine, they'll pay for it. So we get a new engine, pretty much brand new engine in the car, which will be nice because it already had 135,000 miles on it. So it'll prolong the shelf life of the car. Or we can, they'll probably just scrap it and give us incentive to buy a new one, which we don't want to buy a new Hyundai because we almost died in one, and this one's a money pit. So long story short, we made it back to Portland on Monday afternoon, was able to eat Trader Joe's orange chicken that night. So quite the turnaround for one day, you know, after being stranded in nowhere with cell service and a broken down car and a dog, to sitting in a lawn chair drinking a twisted tea and eating orange chicken from Trader Joe's, all in a day's work. So shout out to our Monday, and then Tuesday I was back at work. So we're here now. It is Wednesday, August 28th, and I've been talking about our near-death experience. So That was this past week, and it was definitely eventful and stressful with the new job and with the new life and death experience happening in my life. But there's also a lot going on in the news that I wanted to touch on. And one of the things, there's all these trends and all these tags, and you heard about the Jimmy John's guy hunting, and this is old news. I don't know why it was just brought up again. It's like they just found this photo. It's like, oh, you're living in freaking whatever country, like you're living in freaking North Korea because you just found out about this, about the Jimmy John's owner that shoots elephants, and then like he shoots cheetahs or whatever too. You just found out about this. This is old news, by the way. These photos have been out for at least 2 to 3 years, probably. But yeah, there's a hashtag boycott Jimmy John's, and all these people are like, yeah, boycott Jimmy John's. How would you shoot such a magnificent animal, an elephant, and then take a picture of it with 2 thumbs up? And yeah, how could you kill an elephant? How could you do that to this majestic creature? And look, I don't think killing an elephant would be, I don't think I would do it, honestly. But I understand why people get the opportunity to do that as well. And you can boycott Jimmy John's all you want. I'll probably still eat there. And like I said, this photo's old, so I don't know why it's being recirculated again. But everyone that says they're boycotting Jimmy John's is still eating all the other food. What about the chickens? What about the beef? What about them buffalo wings? What about pork ribs? What about tilapias? You know, what, tilapias aren't as good as an elephant just because we had, Dumbo, the movie, and people, think elephants are this magnificent creature, which they are. I mean, I bet they're smarter than a tilapia, but at the same time, I feel like it's kind of hypocritical in a sense to, say, oh, he's hunting this elephant, but yet I'm going to eat all these other animals that don't matter, and what he had to pay to get that permit to hunt the elephant, it's not like he was illegally poaching the elephant. He paid the government or the country X amount of dollars, which goes towards conservation of the animal's habitat. So in fact, he was probably helping more than you are in hunting that animal. So whatever your thoughts are on hunting, big game hunting, like I said, I'm not really into it, but just know that they do pay a lot of money to do that, which goes into conservation efforts. Anybody who says something about hunting, just know that there's a tax on everything hunting-wise. If you buy a rifle, if you buy ammo, if you buy a bow, if you buy deer antler spray, if you buy a freaking camo vest that you want to wear on the weekend to your Ja Rule concert, just know that there's an extra tax that goes to conservation. So if you've never hunted or you've never done anything like that, like I have, you haven't done shit for conservation unless you're privately donating money. So some of the best things you can do is hunt or buy those products and those kind of things, because it actually is bringing money to conservation efforts. So, I could be wrong on all this, but just know that he paid a lot of money to do that. And if it wasn't him, it was going to be someone else. So boycott Jimmy John's if you want. It's old news. Don't know why it's resurfaced again, and just wanted to give my take on that. So if you like Jimmy John's, go ahead and eat it. If you don't eat it. I still like elephants. Still like tilapias. I'm sure elephant tastes delicious just like tilapia does if cooked right. So what else? That was just kind of on my nerves, what I'm saying. What else? I was thinking about this. I kind of talked about this I don't know if it was on my last podcast, about if I could give advice to myself, it would be to listen to others' mistakes. But yet I still find myself making my own mistakes. Kind of like, I feel like moving jobs was a mistake, but yet I had to do it to, like, why do we keep doing that to ourselves? But like, you have to do it. I feel like, I don't know if there's any way to avoid it. As much as you want to as much as you want to play it safe, there's something in us that honestly probably kills people that they make their own mistakes. Like the first person that, wanted to jump in the ocean with sharks but didn't have anything on, they learned about their mistake. But then at the other times, someone who tried a mango for the first time and was like, dude, it could either be poisonous and I could die, or it could be a mango, a ripe mango, and I could enjoy it and eat it for the rest of my life. So whether you make your mistake and it's right or it's wrong, it's a tough pill to swallow either way. And at least you're making it, I guess. You can only do so much. You can only prepare yourself so much. You can only do as much research and listen to as many people as you want. But at the end of the day, I still think we're going to make our own mistakes. I don't even know what I was talking about last time, but yeah, you can listen to all the people you want, but I still think there's something inside of us that wants to fail because we think we're the outlier. And I think that's obviously dangerous, like I talked about, but it's also what makes us human, is that we think we're the outlier. And speaking of outliers, I think the MTV Music Awards was on a couple of days ago, and Lil Nas X and Lizzo kind of stole the show, and they're outliers for sure. It's funny because my brother Taylor got us hooked on Lizzo like a year ago, and then everyone's hooked on Lil Nas X, Old Town Road, and it's crazy just to think, those type of people are exactly what we need right now, because they're them. One's a gay black country music singer, who's also doing some hip hop and dressing all cool and like just doing the damn thing and being himself. And Lizzo, she's beautiful. She's a bigger girl. She's inspirational, and she's doing her damn thing. And like, hopefully, with everything going on with the news and the Trumps and all that kind of stuff and all this negative energy, like, you just have to smile when you see those people perform and are doing them. It's just a kind of a, it's a confidence boost. It should be when you see them, whether you want to be who you want to be or not. Just know that if they can be who they are and everyone loves them, and I'm sure they have their haters, but overall they're killing it. So if that's no better reason than to be who you are, just look at those two, because they're killing it, and they got the world by their nuts right now. Or the world by its nuts, and it's really cool to see. Definitely great performances, and I only saw the clips, but definitely inspirational that the American dream is still alive. Lil Nas X was no one a year ago, and he hits this track, Old Town Road, and then he dug Billy Ray Cyrus out of the grave, and now both of them are freaking making so much money. Just goes to show you that you're one hit away. You're one 15-minute of fame away from that American dream. And I think the American dream has shifted in that people want to be themselves and successful. Whereas a while ago, maybe it was, I want to be this type of person who is successful, because that's the American dream, because other people see that as success. For example, a doctor, a lawyer, a banker, a stock market. Other people perceive that as successful. But now I think it's shifting to where the people that I look up to most are the people that do it their way and are them, such as Lizzo, such as Lil Nas X. They're successful being who they are. And I think that's kind of the American dream now with YouTube and everything, personalities. We want someone different, we don't want, that's success to me, is if you can be who you are and be as successful as you possibly can be, then you win at life. You don't have to be someone you're not. And people are going to either love you for who you are, or be haters for who you are, and there's gonna be haters either way. So you might as well do something you love and be who you are, because them haters is everywhere, you know. Not to get all haterific on you, but yeah, their performances were good, and they're definitely inspiring. You know, he's the #1 song ever in the world of music. I mean, I'm sure there's Bible songs that have been played more, but yeah, it's kind of interesting. He just burst onto the scene. The American dream is alive, people. You're only one step away. So, what else? Talked about that. Oh, I watched the new Dave Chappelle special last night, and it was really good. I don't like watching specials on TV because it's not the same. Rarely, I'll start maybe a special once in a while, and I'll like watch the first 10 minutes of it, and then I'll just be like, it's something about being at a comedy club and something like the atmosphere and the energy. It's just not there when you're watching it on TV. It's still funny, but I found myself watching this new Dave Chappelle documentary or special, and I've watched parts of his other ones, but they didn't suck me in. This one, he came straight out the gate with fire, and really challenged us as viewers to think about certain things. You know, he called out us for the blaming culture, and if we can find one thing in the past to tear someone down, we're going to do it, because now that's the culture of, this person tweeted this in 2006 when they were 20 years old and they were out at the club at Mojo's drinking, and they tweeted this, so let's tear their life down. Obviously, that's not an accurate and fair representation of an individual, especially if it's years ago. But he talked about how Kevin Hart was kind of drugged through the fire of the media for his homophobic tweets 6 or 7 years ago. And it's just a different time where everyone's kind of on edge, and it seems to be a time that is more, you're trying to drag people down than uplift them. So watch his documentary. Let me know what you think. There's a lot of interesting points. It was very funny. I was actually laughing watching it, and I was actually able to sustain myself and go all the way through it. Like I said, it's nothing against comics. I like the energy of a comedy club more than sitting at home watching it by myself. You need the person in the taxi cab hat with the Guido girl next to you, like doing this every joke, because it makes me laugh at him, which everyone else is laughing. So there's just a different vibe at a club when everyone's laughing and everyone's drinking, and it's a lot of fun. It's more different when you're at home. So yeah, check out his new special. I can't even remember what it's called, but it's all over Netflix right now. What are we at? 47 minutes. Let's see. I think I'm going to end with that. I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about too, but I'll save that for next time. One of them involves an encounter at a 7-Eleven. It wasn't an encounter, it was an observation, but I want to work that one up a little bit. Just other thoughts and stuff I had. But I think that's good for this week's episode, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Happy to be alive still. Grateful. And yeah, as always, guys, if you can, check me out on Instagram, on Facebook. I have a Twitter that I don't use, but there's a Twitter. YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes. If you can, please subscribe and like on the iTunes, on the YouTube. Every subscription counts. I want to try to build this thing. I really want to get some t-shirts made. I want to start wearing my own t-shirt, Half the Story t-shirts. So if you were interested in a t-shirt, let me know. If the demand's there, I'll get enough of them, and I'll send them out to you free of charge. Shipping wise, you have to pay for the shirt as is. I'm not going to charge you anything for the shirt. But if you would like a Half the Story shirt, let me know. I want to get some of those made in the next couple months. Yeah, there'll be some soft ass tees. At least I want to get them made for me, at least, so I can wear them every day, all day, and not wear these freaking. I got this cool hitter this Iowa t-shirt. It's not the Iowa Hawkeyes. It's the state of Iowa flag. So shout out to Iowa. But yeah, thinking about making some t-shirts. The first run would be some soft-ass tee, and I'd send it to you. All you got to do is pay for the shirt, and I would send it to you. So thinking about that. What else is going on? Ain't sure what I'm going to do this weekend yet, but we got a new car, at least for a little while. We're going to tear that thing up because the dealership said, you treat it like your own car. He did one of these. He gave me the finger gun. He said, you treat it like your own car. I was like, okay. Daddy's about to tear it up. Okay. About to tear those wheels up because this is a new car. And Papa ain't had a new car in a while, so we're going to put some miles on that bad boy. So don't be surprised if we have some more adventures coming up in the recent weeks. As always, guys, enjoy the episode. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, give me some shout-outs. Love to hear from you guys. Let me know how I'm doing. If I'm getting better, if I'm getting worse. Maybe one of these episodes we'll do Ask Me Anything. Give me some topics to talk about, things to discuss, and I'll be open to that, guys. But other than that, this is episode 21. We're out.